pretty good. How's it? Yeah. It was a good CD.
Hi, everybody. We're getting close to showtime. It's great to see you all. Thanks for coming out to the Artichoke. Have any of you not been here before? Oh, a few. All right. We hope this is, yeah, really welcome. Hope it's not your last time. It's great to see you. Anybody not from the Portland area? Anybody from out of town? Pretty much local. Okay, well, welcome. We hope you enjoy the show. I'll tell you just a little bit about Artichoke, although it sounds like most of you already know a fair amount about Artichoke. But we are a nonprofit. We run in three parts, basically, the venue. Who knows the other two parts of Artichoke? The retail, the store, which, yeah, and the school, three parts. So the store operates mostly on consignment. We offer beginning entry-level instruments and some very special, rare instruments as well. So we'd love to see you patronize the store. And the school offers all sorts of wonderful classes. You can find them online. There's lots of stringed instrument classes and others like songwriting, etc. And we've got a write-up of it in the back somewhere as well. So we are a nonprofit, a 501c3. We operate partly on donations, so if you're ever considering great organizations to donate to, think of Artichoke. We have sponsorship opportunities as well. And some of the other things we do, we have a variety of open mics, which are great for supporting beginning artists, sort of incubating the musical world in Portland. We have student jams and community circles, a harp circle, table grass. We work with a couple nonprofit partners like Swan Songs and Soldiers and Songs. They provide musical programming for end of life and veterans who could use musical support and health. And we do some tech training. We operate largely with volunteer help. We have a small staff, core staff, but we also have great volunteers. We have some of them here tonight. Behind the bar is Christopher. At the door is Lee. Yay. And Lee at the door. And Gary. Gary's doing sound and video. Yeah, Gary. We're live streaming. And we record and have the videos available on YouTube as well. Probably, I want to ask you to silence your phones. You probably don't need to know about the bathrooms, or do you? You probably all know. There's 3 bathrooms total. This one is not so good during the show. There are 2 out the back of the room and to the left, and you'll see the doors. And I think that's the basic messages for you. Thank you again so much for being here. And tonight's artist, Brooks Robertson, is amazing guitarist, fingerstyle guitarist. He actually is from Oregon, and he used to work and teach at Artichoke years ago in the earlier days, and now is based mostly, I guess, out of Boston, where he teaches at Berklee School of Music. He'll tell you a little bit more about himself. So, without further ado, because who needs any more ado? I don't think we need any more ado. Here comes Brooks.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here, you.
Thanks for that wonderful introduction, too.
Okay.
All right. It'll just take me a minute to get situated here.
That's all good.
So good to be back at Artichoke in Portland, Oregon. Thank you. Beautiful day here in Portland, I'd say. I got to walk around quite a bit. In between, we had a workshop earlier here from 2 to 4, which was fun. People were learning to fingerpick right where you're sitting. and they did great. You feel the energy. And yeah, it's been great to be back in the neighborhood here, and I'm excited to be here to play for you tonight. So let me get retuned a little bit because I was warming up upstairs, and I know that the temperature is different than it is down here. It's a little cooler down here. So as you heard, I'm from Oregon originally. I grew up down in Eugene. Go Ducks. And spent most of my life there, and then I actually lived up here in Portland for about 5 years until I was 26 when I went to Boston, Massachusetts to get to study at Berklee College of Music. And I'll tell you more about everything as we go. But I was really lucky to study with a great guitarist down in Eugene who was from Nashville, Tennessee, among other places. And his name was Buster B. Jones. I'm actually playing his guitar, one of his guitars tonight for you. And I'm going to start with one of Buster's tunes. This is called Just Another Rag. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. It's always a risk to open with that one, but that went fairly well. Let me play you a little Jerry Reed tune next. I'm going to play quite a few tunes from my teacher, Buster B. Jones, who I just mentioned, but also from some Jerry Reed tunes and some tunes from some of my favorite players. This is a little Jerry Reed tune that's called Bluesland. Thank you. So I take it that you like Jerry Reed, based on your reaction, you know? Believe it or not, I'm not a professor of logic, but I figured that out. Sorry, I was watching some Norm Macdonald before. Okay, let's see here. So I'm going to do actually a Jerry Reed medley for you because you liked that last Reed tune so much. And let's see, I'm going to start this medley with a tune called 12 Bar Midnight. Then I'm going to go into a little number called Drive In. I may or may not do Funky Junk. And I definitely will play through Blue Finger. Okay? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was fun. That was fun. For you too? Oh, I always like to hear that. Only 3 people left during that song. So that's good, you know? We still have half of you left. I'm just joking around. I like to be playful up here and not take myself too seriously. So you shouldn't either, okay? Let me think. I'm going to do yet another Jerry Reed tune. This is one that I learned after finding an article written by a music journalist named Jeremy Roberts, and the article was all about the 323 songs that Jerry Reed wrote and published in his lifetime. I'm sure that he wrote even more of those that maybe were never heard or published, but that's quite a few. I'm not sure if all of us in this room together have wrote and published that many tunes. But Jerry Reed, he was just a genius on the guitar. And so I was going through this article online. It was pretty cool. It would tell about the tune, maybe who played on it, who recorded the tune, when it was released, and a link to listen to it or take you to a YouTube video or something. And I went through a bunch of the songs, and this was one of the ones I found I hadn't heard before, but it turns out that Chet Atkins had recorded this on his album called Class Guitar. And it's a beautiful tune here by Jerry Reed. This is called To Be in Love. Thank you. Yeah, I found that tune. I mean, maybe Chet fans out there had heard it. I just had never heard that piece and fell in love with it and locked myself away in a room until I had figured it out. You know, I like to, when possible, find a video of somebody playing something or a transcription or something, you know, but sometimes it's just the audio, of course. And I have it good these days. I can plug it into an app where I can slow it down to 5% speed without changing the pitch, you know. It doesn't get, but you still got to figure out a few things and figure out what string are they on and that kind of thing.
You going to tell us when you met Jerry Reed?
I will.
Oh, you will? Okay, good.
I'm saving that for later. Set 2. This is good. This will, you set me up to help people stick around for the second set to hear that story.
Maybe $5 later.
Okay, deal. So I'm borrowing this guitar from Artichoke. I just picked this up off the shelf earlier because that's a nylon string I was playing. That's a Godin guitar made in Canada. This is an Art Lutherie guitar, also made in Canada by the same company. And I love playing steel string as well as nylon string, but on this trip I've been away for about a month, and this is the only guitar I brought with me. So I tried out a few guitars earlier and said, okay, I'm going to borrow this one if it's okay. So after I get done playing this, it is for sale in the other room. Okay? I had to make sure that's part of the agreement of being able to play it. So I'll get it in tune here, and then I'm going to pick you a song written by a great guitarist named Tom Bresch. Tom Bresch, he was the son of Merle Travis. And I got to know Tom through my teacher and mentor, Buster B. Jones, because they were really best pals, and they toured a lot together. There's a great album that they did together called Guts and Steel, Gut String and Steel String. And Bresch was a really great guy, and he and Buster used to tour across Europe quite a bit together. And they loved going to France to play, and the people there in France really loved hearing Bresch and Buster play together. And one of the years they were there in Bordeaux, Buster and Bresch were actually awarded to be wine lords in Bordeaux, France. And there was a huge ceremony. I'm sure there's some photos out there somewhere of this. And there are some stories I could tell you about it, but I think I'm just going to play the tune here. But yeah, believe it or not, Buster and Bresch were awarded as wine lords in France. And as a thank you, Tom Bresch, he wrote this tune for the people of Bordeaux. It's called Sidewalks of Bordeaux. Let me double check that tuning. I know that you'll be happy I did. All right. You know, this guitar might not be for sale after the show. Does it? Thank you. I always like these kind of sunburst. Guitars are beautiful. Okay. I'm going to pick for you a tune called The Mountains of Illinois. This is one of my most... Yeah, it's funny. I've been to Illinois a few times, but I know there are not a lot of mountains there. But that is the name of this tune. It's a beautiful piece written by Pat Berkison. an incredible guitarist and harmonica player based in Nashville. And I got to know Pat through my teacher, Buster, and through going to an event in Nashville called the Chet Atkins Appreciation Society Convention. I just went last month for their 40th annual convention. And it was an amazing event. So I've got to meet Pat and a lot of other great players there. And I actually had the chance to hang with Pat quite a bit recently and teach alongside him. We were both at the Rocky Mountain Guitar Camp. So was he. He was here too. Ian was there. The Rocky Mountain Guitar Camp in Colorado, which just celebrated their 10th year. That was at the end of July. It was Pat Bergeson teaching there, and Richard Smith, John Knowles, Jim Nichols, David Hamburger, and I. We had a great time. And then I just came back yesterday. I flew from Livingston or Bozeman, Montana, to Eugene. I played last night in Eugene, but I was coming from the Pete Huttlinger Guitar and Fly Fishing Camp, which I was teaching at, which is, pretty much a dream come true. So Pat and I were the instructors for this year's Fingerstyle camp there. And it's a really great camp. We spent 3 days doing all the music stuff. And then the fourth day, you get to float down the Yellowstone River with a guide and go fishing. I have a pretty tough life, let me tell you. So I actually want to mention, too, that I'm so lucky to get to play music and teach music for a living. More than ever, I feel like that. And so thank you so much, all of you, for supporting live music, supporting artists and musicians, and coming out to see me play, because I'm pretty lucky to get to sit up here and do this and not have everybody leave at once, So that means a lot to me. But anyway, I'm going to play you this tune, The Mountains of Illinois, by Pat Bergeson. Thank you. Yeah, it was fun getting to play that with Pat and just get to hang around him. He's such an amazing musician that I was hoping some of that would rub off on me, but it didn't. That's all right. Keep playing anyway. So, let me play you an original tune of mine. It's a toss-up whether to do this on my nylon string or this beautiful steel string, but I'll try to stick with this for a minute. This is a little tune that I wrote that was on my last album that I put out 2 years ago. It feels like yesterday, but that was called Pickin' All Day Long, which is pretty much all I do. So it felt like an appropriate album title. And this is a tune that I wrote in the Jerry Reed style, kind of a tribute to Reed. This one is called Read 'Em and Weep. Thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was fun. That was Read 'em and Weep. I tend to write songs that are too hard for me to play, but I keep doing that, as you'll see later. How's everybody doing out there? Doing all right? Good. Oh, yeah. Thanks for being with me on a Saturday night here in Portland. As I was saying earlier, great to be back here at Artichoke. When I first moved up to Portland, I was 21 years old. I didn't know anybody up here at all. And I moved with a friend of mine that I'd grown up with in Eugene. We went to middle school and high school together. Oliver, if you're watching, I still think about you. No, his name was Oliver Thurn. He's my buddy. And we moved up here. You know, I think we had enough money saved up to pay for 1 month of rent. You know, we didn't know what we were going to be doing. And we got a house that we rented not far from here. It was on 39th and Division, right by the Stumptown Coffee Roasters. They were actually our landlords, which was kind of cool. We got free coffee. But we also smelled the smell of roasting coffee beans pretty much 24/7 at our house. And it was great, you know, and I remember moving up here and I started to go around town to researching different places that they had live music, you know, and I'd go in and I'd talk and say, hey, I play guitar and, you know, I'm really good. No, I didn't say that. But I said, you know, will you have me come play here? And they said, well, you know, how many followers do you have in Portland? And I thought, well, let me think about it. But slowly, I did get some gigs here and there, started getting my foot in the door, some places to play. And I remember the first time I went into Artichoke Music over on Hawthorne Boulevard, and Daniel, he was there behind the counter, and I picked up a few guitars and played for a while, and he came over to me and he was like, what's your name, you know, and do that again. And so I kind of became pals with him, and he helped connect me to the Artichoke community. And through that, you know, I really got to meet so many great people and musicians in Portland. And so, yeah, I lived here for 5 years, and I just made a living playing music about 3 times a week around town and teaching at Artichoke. I taught lessons, and I taught like weekly classes and some workshops, and it was a really great time of my life. So it's great to be back here playing. Let me get to another Jerry Reed tune. This is one I just learned recently. This is a tune Jerry wrote, was recorded by Chet Atkins. It's called The Early Dawn. Thank you. You know, it was a good catch. I don't know if you saw it. My hand kind of flew off the neck there. Somehow I got it back, you know, without a major train wreck. That was, you know, it was a close one. All right, let's see. What am I going to do? I got maybe 2 more tunes to do for you before we take a little short break. And let me just play this other Jerry tune. This is sort of an anthem among people who play Jerry Reed's tunes. And it's been done by a lot of players. Jerry Reed, Tom Bresh, Buster B. Jones, Lenny Breau, Tommy Emmanuel. The list goes on and on. I'm going to play you kind of one of the versions, kind of like Jerry plays it, as close as I can. This one's called The Claw. Thank you. That was The Claw.
It's fun to see you having fun.
Oh, thank you so much.
With such incredible skills.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's hard not to have fun up here playing. You know, like I spend so much time practicing these songs and playing them. But this is where you get to just get up and have fun. It took me a lot of years to realize that. You know, sometimes I was just so worried about playing everything perfectly. And now, you know, I try to play as great as I can every time I pick up the guitar. But, you know, I get up here and I'm just like, I've already done all the practicing I can. Let me just try to play things musically and have fun. And if you have fun too, that's the ultimate goal. So thank you for saying that. So I'm switching over here. I'll do one last tune in this set. And this is another Tom Bresh tune. This is one that Tom Bresh wrote as a tribute to one of his great heroes and pals, Chet Atkins, who they called Mr. Guitar. And when I was at that Chet Atkins Appreciation Society convention in mid-July, it happens every second week of July there in Nashville. And I'm always telling people about it because it really changed my life. And you can find out more about it at chetsociety.com. You really can. It's an amazing event. There's probably 75 to 100 performers some years. And there's 4 days straight of this kind of finger-picking guitar from 10 a.m. to midnight every day. And it's just incredible to rub shoulders with all these great players from around the world and get to know them. And when I was there, I heard somebody play this Tom Bresh tune that I'm going to play for you. And I grew up listening to it on one of Bresh's albums that was called Wires to the Wood. And I used to listen to this tune all the time, and I really loved it. I never learned it. I always wish I had learned it. And then I heard this guy playing it there in Nashville, and I thought, oh, there's that song. I love that. I got to learn that. So I got home from Nashville, and the only productive thing I did for a whole week after that was to lock myself in my little studio room and watch videos of Tom Bresch playing this, at 25% speed and rewinding it over and over and over, and learned how to play it. And you can see him play it on YouTube. There's a few great videos of him playing it at shows. Anyway, I think I'm in tune now. I can stop talking. So this is called Mr. Guitar, My Friend. Thank you, everybody. We'll take a short break, and then we'll be back with another set.
just because I'm in misery. I'm not asking for no sympathy, but if it's not asking too much, please send me someone to love.
everybody. Thanks for sticking around.
Thank you for sticking around.
Yeah. My pleasure. So let me start off this next set with some tunes down in drop D tuning. And I'm going to start with a Buster B tune. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry to do this, but I need to go grab my tuner that I left on the other guitar and get the other guitar. So talk amongst yourselves for a second. This is all planned as a part of the show.
Take your time.
See, there's a reason I don't take myself too seriously, like I was telling you. Okay.
That's good.
That's good. So I'll just tell you about this tune while I catch my breath. This is a Buster B. Jones tune, and he recorded this with Tom Bresh on an album that they did together I was mentioning earlier called Guts and Steel. And I think Buster said he kind of wrote this a bit of a tribute to Jerry Reed, which you'll hear when I play it. But he also titled it after Tom Bresh's house in Nashville, which he called Guitarville. Thank you. That was Guitarville by Buster B. Jones. Yeah, Chet Atkins said about Buster, he's the best finger picker I've seen since Jerry Reed. He plays like he's double parked. Yeah, Buster and Chet became friends. Chet was a big hero of Buster's, a big influence of his. And I remember there's some great stories and videos on YouTube of Buster talking about Chet and how nervous he was. When he first met him, he said he couldn't talk to him. Like, he was so nervous he couldn't talk. But he said he could tell him a dirty joke. And they kind of became friends ever since after that. And Buster wrote several tunes that were influenced by Chet Atkins and dedicated to him. This is one that he wrote and dedicated to Chet. It's called A Walk in the Park, and I'll play it for you. I wrote a little section in the middle of it that I'm quite proud of, so hope you like that. Hope Buster likes it. Here we go, Walk in the Park. Thank you. Thank you. That was a walk in the park there. I mean it. Let me get another Jerry Reed tune played for you here. This is a great funky tune called Struttin'. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I've never ended it with that chord. My fingers just sort of got like mirror image reversed there for a second, so that was cracked me up. All right, I'm going to play yet another Jerry Reed song. This is a really beautiful tune Chet and Jerry recorded. I want to say it was on their Sneakin' Around album, but I'm not certain. It's a tune that's called Firstborn, sometimes called Sadina. Jerry wrote this for his daughter, Sadina. Hope you like it. Oh, I love that song. Love that one. So, thank you. The next tune was actually not written by Jerry Reed, but it has to do with Jerry Reed. Okay. So when I was 16 years old, I had been going to that Chet Atkins convention for about 4 years because I started going when I was 12 with my mentor Buster. And so when I was 16, I got a chance to go with him, with Buster, back to Nashville, and he kind of set up a surprise visit where we got to go have lunch with Jerry Reed and get to meet him, play for him. So we played a bit for him, and one of the first things he said when I got done playing with Buster, he said, "Well, son, you play too fast." And I was like, "Yes, thank you, Jerry." Because, you know, like Buster was known for playing super fast, and so me looking up to him all the time, I just wanted to play fast. I didn't realize you're supposed to play in time, though. You know, I learned I'm still working on that. So Jerry said, "Well, don't just sit there like that, boy. Pick, Jerry, another one." And so I played him a few more tunes, and then got done, and he just looked at Buster, he shook his head, he said, "I hate the boy." And so it was a real highlight for me to get to meet Jerry and have him tell me that he hated me. So I kept that little quote from him and used it as the title of this tune. This is called I Hate the Boy. Little tribute to Jerry Reed. All right, thank you. That's I Hate the Boy for Jerry Reed. Cool, let me get back up to standard tuning. And I'll do another original tune for you. This is one that I recorded on my album from 2 years ago, Pickin' All Day Long. This tune actually was an assignment from one of my teachers and mentors at Berklee College of Music. His name was Rick Peckham. And I actually met Rick quite a long time before I became a Berklee student because he was so into Buster B. Jones and Jerry Reed stuff. And, you know, him and I had been in touch about our heroes and that kind of thing and this style of music that we loved. And so it was he was a big part of me getting a chance to go to Berklee as a student. I was 26 years old when I got the opportunity to go there. And I had Rick as a private teacher for several semesters, and he was always encouraging me to write my own tunes. And so one week for an assignment, he told me, he said, take 2 hours and write a tune. That's what your assignment is this week. So I thought, okay, I can do that. You know, I can do that. And our lessons, I think, were on Tuesday mornings, I want to say. It was Tuesday at 10 or something. So the week went by pretty quick. I don't know, somehow I was busy, and like Monday night rolled around, you know, and I was looking at my little checklist of like my assignments I was supposed to do. And there it was, write a tune, 2 hours. So I went to one of the little practice rooms. Anybody ever been in a practice room? Basically a little box, that you lock yourself away in to play in, which is great. I remember the little lesson rooms over at Artichoke were like little practice rooms. I used to go in there, play and practice a lot. Anyway, I locked myself away, spent 2 hours. I didn't finish the tune, but I got a good chunk of this down. I went in the next day and played it for him, and he really liked it, and he encouraged me to finish it. And I got a good grade, too. So I later recorded it. It's a really fun tune. Influenced definitely by some of my favorite musicians, Lenny Breau and Horace Silver. So this one is called Silver Stride. Were you just doing the fist pump for Lenny Breau? Yeah. That is so cool. I love it. I'm in the right place right now. It's always good when you say Lenny Breau and people go, yeah, Lenny Breau. Thank you. Like I said, I always write the songs that are a little hard for me to play. But that one's a lot of fun. So let's see, I'm going to do another original for you. And this is a new one that not many people have heard. I'm going to be recording this on my upcoming album, which I'm saying it out loud to like tell myself I'm going to be doing it. recording a new album this fall. Just from home, mainly solo guitar stuff. Several of the tunes I played tonight. Some of the Tom Bresh stuff, a few of Buster's tunes, a few of those Jerry Reed tunes, and then a couple new ones that I've been working on. So it's always good to play them for people. So this one is called Waltz for Way. Thank you so very much. Thank you. That's Waltz for Way. Way is my wife, Way, back home. She's in Connecticut. I live in Connecticut now. Don't ask me how I got there. Northeast Connecticut. How to get there? Well, you go down 395, and then, but I've been there about 1 year, and I kind of have lived all over. Like I said, I grew up in Eugene. I moved to Portland for about 5 years. Then I went to Boston to go to school there. And that's where I met my wife, Way, was in Boston. And then after we both graduated, she got a job in Bozeman, Montana. We lived there for 3 years while she was working at Montana State University. And I was out fishing and hiking. That's not fair, is it? She's working, I'm fishing and hiking. Maybe that's why she decided to look for a different job somewhere else where I couldn't do that all the time. She ended up moving to a different job in Worcester, Massachusetts. So we lived there for about 3 years. And then 1 year ago, we just kind of transitioned into moving over there in Connecticut. So she and I both have to commute a bit. I take the train, or excuse me, I drive up to Worcester, Mass, and then I take the train into Boston to go to Berklee a few days a week to teach there. And it's really a dream come true to get a chance to be there teaching at Berklee. Anyway, I was trying to say a nice thing about that beautiful tune for my wife, Way. So I'm glad you like it. That'll be on my next upcoming album. Okay, I got a couple more tunes in store for you. I'm going to do another Buster B tune. This is one that he wrote for a good friend of his, an amazing French guitarist named Marcel Dadi. And he used one of his techniques. Buster used one of Marcel's techniques to write it. I guess the story is something along the lines that Marcel got sick of going boom, chick, boom, boom. You know, we do a lot of stuff in this style. And Marcel Dadi, he was a real expert in Travis picking and Chet style, but he wanted to come up with his own thing. And this is how it was told to me by Buster. So he started going boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick. And he would write these beautiful tunes with that kind of technique. Boom, chick, boom, boom. And so on. So Marcel and Buster, they were friends. And I think they showed each other things, you know, that they were working on and techniques that they sort of innovated. So Marcel taught Buster that technique, and Buster wrote quite a few songs in that style. Now, sadly, in 1998, I think it was, Marcel Dadi, he was in a plane crash flying back from, well, he was in Nashville, but then he was making his way through from New York City back to France. And he was in a TWA a flight crash there, and so he passed away, and Buster wrote this tune for him. It's called Farewell, My Friend. Thank you for Marcel Dadi there. All right, I think I got time for two more. I'm not sure what time it is, but I want to. Before I'll say a thank you and a goodbye, a fully thank you. But this is a pre-thank you to all of you for being here once again tonight. So I didn't see earlier when we were doing the introduction. How many people is your first time to Artichoke tonight? A couple? Great. It's such a great place, really, here. And the community, the people, I'm just loving being back here. Portland is lucky to have a place and people like Artichoke here. So definitely come support Artichoke as much as you can. I hope to be back again next summer. This is my third year in a row getting to come here and play in the summer, and it's such a treat and a highlight. So let me do a tender, sweet Buster B. Jones song, and then I'll finish with like a burning Buster B. Jones song. So Buster did an album not long after he moved to Oregon. He put out this great album that's called Just Us, and you can find it online. Beautiful album. He got in trouble when his wife found out that Just Us was talking about him and his guitars. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I learned a lot of things from Buster. But he redeemed himself with this tune because he wrote her a really beautiful song, and then everything was okay. And that's what I'm going to play for you. This one is called A Simple Gift. Thank you. A Simple Gift. Yeah, you can find that album still. someone has posted it on YouTube, the whole thing. You can find it, I think, on iTunes, streaming services, Apple Music, Spotify and stuff. But it's one of my favorite albums of Buster's. He's got some beautiful tunes like that on there, and then he's just got some real, as he would call, barn burners as well. So it's a fun one to check out. So I'm going to just retune a little bit here for my last number, and I want to have a special thanks to Gary for doing such a great job on the sound and the amazing video tonight. If you're watching from home somewhere, I know from watching other concerts from here, myself playing, but also others, Gary and everybody here do such an amazing job with the video and the audio, and it's really amazing. Also, a big round of applause for all the wonderful volunteers here at Artichoke. Thank you all for what you do. And definitely last but not least, thanks to all of you for coming and seeing me on your Saturday night. It's great to be in Portland. I'm going to be driving back down to Eugene tonight after I pack up, and I'm playing again there tomorrow at a place called the Jazz Station. Earlier show, 3 p.m. So if you know any friends and family in Eugene, and they have nothing better to do, let them know I'm playing tomorrow. That'd be great. But it's been really fun to get out and be playing a little bit more. I always put the dates of where I'm going to be playing on my website, so you can check in there every now and then. But I got to get back here to Oregon more often, and once again, a treat to be up here on this stage playing for all of you. So I'll end it tonight with one of Buster's tunes called Live at 5. You can just talk amongst yourself for a second here. I'll make sure I'm in tune. Thank you. No one's talking, but everyone's making all kinds of noises, so you're covering.
How many students did Buster have?
How many students did Buster have? I think he had a lot of students over the years. He used to teach, I can't remember the name of the music shop that he taught at. I believe it was in Roanoke, Virginia. For many years he taught there. Then he did some instructional courses through a company called Stephen Grossman's Workshop. Stephen Grossman is a great blues player and teacher, but he also produced a lot of these instructional videos of great players, including Chet Atkins, Buster, and a whole list of players. So I think Buster did around 8 instructional courses for Stephen Grossman. So I think a lot of people learned from him through that avenue. When I was studying with him in Eugene, he only had a couple of other students. I was maybe one of 3 students or 4 students that he had, and probably was one of the youngest. I remember there was another young guy who's still there, I think, in Eugene, named Matthew Goad, and he was always inspiring me to practice more because he was so good, and he was younger than me, and we were pals, though. So, yeah, I was really fortunate to study with Buster so closely from the time I was 12 until I was 19, so it's only right that I'm playing his guitar and playing so many of his tunes. So thanks again, everybody. Here's Live at 5. Thank you again, everybody. So appreciate you coming out tonight. See you again next time, okay?
You got a tour.